I mean, I'm gonna be in the ring different. Like I say to him in Spanish, he needs 20 like him to give me a little problems.
Excuse my language. The size difference of a bigger man changes everything with one punch.
Canelo Alvarez means to the Mexican fans what Floyd Money Mayweather meant for black people.
At a live press conference, Canelo Alvarez issued a strong warning to Terence Crawford, expressing his confidence in defeating him. Canelo highlighted that his experience and skill set were far superior, and he believed he had the upper hand due to the difference in weight classes. He made it clear that Crawford, being 3 weight divisions lower, had little to offer in terms of a challenge. Canelo was assertive that his size, strength, and experience would ultimately lead him to victory, viewing the fight as an opportunity to prove his dominance in boxing.
Bud Crawford, just won his debut at 154, said if the money's right, we'll fight. Everybody wants that fight. What do you feel about that matchup? People saying the weight, all this stuff. How do you feel about that?
You know, everybody wants to fight me. Everybody calling me out and everything. And you know, like I say, I have nothing to win with Crawford. 2, 3 weights class less than me. But if the money is right, why not? Right? Why not? But look, I'm focused 100% on Berlanga. I know I have a challenge in front. I never overlook any fighter. So I'm focused 100% in this, and then we'll see.
Canelo, holding the undisputed super middleweight title, has demonstrated exceptional power, precision, and defensive skills throughout his career. His ability to control the pace and dictate the terms of a fight has made him a dominant force in the division. Crawford, on the other hand, is recognized for his versatility, speed, and adaptability, having achieved undisputed status in multiple weight classes. His capacity to switch between orthodox and southpaw stances, combined with his sharp ring IQ, allows him to outmaneuver opponents and exploit openings. This clash of styles, Canelo's power and experience versus Crawford's agility and technique, promises to deliver a thrilling spectacle, potentially marking a historic moment in boxing history.
When Terence Crawford said that he moved up and won, and Canelo moved up and lost.
They talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won.
I don't think that was a strong point because Canelo Alvarez actually moved up and won. I mean, he moved up a lot of weight classes, but if you want to talk about light heavyweight, he moved up and he beat Kobe. Then he moved up again and he lost to Bivol. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, he moves up to 154. He won 115, 113, but it was just an 11-0 Madrimov who didn't really have much of a resume, right? But there's a difference, to be real. I mean, Bivol is a Hall of Fame. Okay, this guy, you know, all-time light heavyweight. It's a bit different. Canelo did knock out Kovalev when he did move up. Okay, and Kovalev is a bigger challenge at light heavyweight than Madrimov at 154 for Terence Crawford. Let's just keep it a big.
Trainer Joel Diaz has highlighted the significant role that size differences play in boxing, particularly when smaller fighters move up to face naturally larger opponents. He argues that even a single punch can dramatically alter the course of a fight, especially when one fighter is accustomed to a higher weight class. Diaz's perspective is particularly relevant in the context of the upcoming matchup between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. While Crawford has demonstrated exceptional skill and adaptability in his career, Diaz suggests that moving up 2 weight classes to face a fighter like Alvarez presents substantial challenges. Alvarez, being a natural super middleweight, possesses not only advantages in terms of size and strength, but also a wealth of experience against larger opponents. Although Crawford is known for his speed and technical prowess, Diaz emphasizes that these attributes may not fully compensate for the physical disparities in this instance. The ability to absorb and withstand punches from larger fighters is a crucial factor, and Alvarez's experience in this regard could give him an edge.
A lot of people that say that Crawford can beat Canelo, no problem. I mean, I respect that, but I just think they're stupid. I mean, excuse my language. The size difference of a bigger man changes everything with one punch. And I can see the same thing. I mean, you saw Canelo Alvarez fighting Amir Khan. Now, look at this. Terence Crawford moved from 47 to 54 to fight Madrimov. What did he do to Madrimov? Nothing. Okay, Madrimov is a 54-pounder. Now, to move up to 168, that's 2 more divisions. Canelo Alvarez will take any punch from Crawford but I don't think Crawford will take any punches from Canelo. Remember, Canelo got hit by Triple G, the heaviest hitter in that division. And Canelo took those shots like a champ. I don't think Crawford has anything to beat Canelo.
Canelo Alvarez's path to greatness is defined by his willingness to face formidable opponents across multiple weight classes. Notably, Canelo's triumphs against these bigger opponents have solidified his reputation as a resilient and strategic boxer. Beyond his in-ring accomplishments, Canelo's significance to Mexican fans parallels the admiration Floyd Mayweather Jr. commands among black communities. Born in Guadalajara, Jalisco, Canelo's rise from humble beginnings resonates deeply with his supporters. His success story embodies the aspirations of many Mexicans, symbolizing perseverance and pride.
Canelo is beating these guys with all 5 layers of defense. Number 1, feet. Number 2, elbows, hands, shoulders, and the mind. This is exactly how both of those guys got to the highest level of boxing supremacy. Canelo Alvarez means to the Mexican fans what Floyd Money Mayweather meant for black people. 50 wins in boxing, no losses, no draws. And follow for more.
Sean Porter, a former welterweight champion who faced Terence Crawford in the ring, has expressed concerns about Crawford's ability to withstand Canelo Alvarez's power. Porter acknowledges Crawford's toughness, but questions whether he can endure the physicality of a naturally bigger and stronger opponent like Canelo. He emphasizes that taking punches from a larger man is a different challenge, and the weight difference could significantly impact the fight. Porter suggests that Crawford's strategy might need to focus on avoiding exchanges and relying on movement to mitigate Canelo's power. He also notes that while Crawford has demonstrated resilience against hard-hitting welterweights, the step up to super middleweight presents new challenges. Porter's insights highlight the complexities of the matchup and underscore the importance of strategy and adaptability in facing a formidable opponent like Canelo Alvarez.
The others say, like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, you know. So I think, if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he still got that kind of steam. But, you know, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo have, and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another, you know what I mean? We tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and we see how that panned out, you know what I mean? So,
promoter Eddie Hearn has characterized the upcoming fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford as a freak fight, emphasizing the substantial weight disparity between the two fighters. Crawford, who has been competing at welterweight and light middleweight, will be moving up to super middleweight to challenge Canelo, a natural super middleweight champion. Hearn points out that, on fight night, Canelo could weigh around 185–190 pounds, while Crawford might be around 168–170 pounds, highlighting a significant size and power advantage for the Mexican champion. Despite Crawford's exceptional skills and accomplishments, including becoming the first male boxer to be undisputed in 2 weight classes, Hearn expresses doubt about Crawford's ability to overcome the physical mismatch. He suggests that even if Crawford performs well, the size difference could be a substantial obstacle, and a victory for Alvarez might not carry the same weight due to the mismatch in natural sizes.
How is Crawford going to be able to bridge this weight gap?
Yeah, I don't think he can, in all honesty. I mean, he might not be able to bridge it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So
one weight class.
68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35. 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like, he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outsized against Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. But you have to use your movement if you're Terence Crawford in that fight. The last thing you want to do is stand and trade. He'd be moving a lot in that fight, trust me. I'm not saying he'd be running, but he would be moving a lot. Of course, that's the way to beat him. Yeah. You know.
Dan Rafael, a seasoned boxing analyst, has provided an in-depth examination of the forthcoming clash between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, slated for September 12th, 2025 in Las Vegas. Rafael underscores the bout's significance, highlighting it as a pivotal moment in boxing history where two pound-for-pound elites face off. Crawford's decision to ascend to the super middleweight division to challenge Alvarez is a bold move that showcases his ambition and confidence. Rafael notes that while Crawford's technical prowess, adaptability, and ring intelligence are well established, the transition to a higher weight class introduces new variables. The physical demands and the power dynamics at 168 pounds differ markedly from Crawford's previous experiences. On the other hand, Alvarez's dominance in the super middleweight division is characterized by his strength, experience, and tactical acumen. Rafael points out that Alvarez's ability to control fights and his resilience make him a formidable opponent for anyone stepping into his weight class. The matchup is not merely a test of skills, but also a battle of legacies. A victory for Crawford would cement his status as one of the sport's all-time greats, potentially making him a 5-division world champion. For Alvarez, defeating a fighter of Crawford's caliber would further solidify his legacy and dominance in the sport. Rafael emphasizes that this fight transcends titles and belts. It's about two champions challenging themselves and each other at the highest level. The anticipation surrounding the bout is a testament to both fighters' reputations and the high stakes involved. As the boxing world eagerly awaits this monumental event, Rafael's analysis provides a comprehensive understanding of the challenges and implications for both fighters. The outcome of this bout will undoubtedly have a lasting impact on the sport's landscape. Canelo Alvarez has expressed a strong desire for his upcoming bout with Terence Crawford to deliver the excitement that fans crave. Reflecting on his recent fight against William Skull, which was widely criticized for its lack of action and set a record for the fewest combined punches thrown in the 12-round bout since CompuBox began tracking statistics, Alvarez emphasized the importance of engaging fights. He was frustrated by Skull's overly defensive approach, which led to a lackluster match despite Alvarez's victory. Looking ahead, Alvarez hopes that Crawford will approach their fight with a mindset geared toward delivering an exciting performance. He believes that fans deserve a thrilling contest and expects Crawford to rise to the occasion, ensuring that their matchup is remembered as a dynamic and memorable event.
What's your message to fighters who will fight you in the future? Obviously not Crawford, but with that kind of mindset, they just want to last the distance.
That's a mediocre mind. That's a mediocre mind because they come just to survive, to go to the 12th round. That's a mediocre mind. You need to put a good fight there and put great show. You know what I mean?
Do you think Crawford will employ the same tactics to try and box?
I hope not. I hope not because the people deserve a good fight.
What do you make of the Crawford fight next?
Huh?
How excited are you for the Crawford fight?
I'm excited. I'm gonna enjoy this win and then we think yeah. Do it.
What did you think of Ryan Garcia's performance yesterday?
Boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. emphasizes that the outcome of the Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford fight hinges on Alvarez's strategic approach. Jones asserts that if Alvarez underestimates Crawford or deviates from a disciplined game plan, he risks defeat. He highlights the importance of Alvarez leveraging his size and power advantages while maintaining respect for Crawford's skills. Jones notes that Crawford's adaptability and ring intelligence make him a formidable opponent, capable of capitalizing on any missteps. Therefore, Alvarez must approach the bout with caution and strategic precision to secure victory.
This is Jonathan Agioff here for Pro Boxing Fans, joined by, does he need any introduction, Hall of Fame legend Roy Jones Jr. here in the UK. There's a few questions about the US guys. Obviously, Tank and Lamont Roach, we saw the first fight. Lamont Roach shot the world. What do you think happens in a rematch if they fight?
I think he shocks the world again. But the only thing different this time is Tank will come with a different attitude, different personality, different motivation. And I think Roach will do good again, but I think Tank will be more dominant this time.
And obviously we know if Canelo wins against William Skull, he will fight Terence Crawford in September. Who would you favour in that fight?
You know, it's a hard one to call. And I'm going to tell you why it's a hard one to call. It's a hard one to call because it'll all be predicated upon how Canelo approaches the fight. If Canelo approaches the fight like he's the man and he can box and outbox Terence Crawford, he'll get beat. If he comes out and shows that he really wants to go out and prove the world that he's still the best, he might win. So it all depends on which Canelo comes to the dance.
Edgar Berlanga has voiced concerns about the upcoming matchup between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, labeling it a mismatch due to the significant weight disparity. While acknowledging Crawford's exceptional skill set and intelligence, Berlanga emphasizes that Alvarez's size advantage at super middleweight could be a decisive factor. He notes that Crawford's mental fortitude and skills surpass those of Alvarez's previous opponent, Jermell Charlo, but questions whether these attributes can compensate for the physical differences. Berlanga believes that if Crawford were naturally a 168-pound fighter, or if Alvarez were closer to 147 pounds, the dynamics of the fight would be different. Despite the challenges, Berlanga does not discount Crawford's capabilities, stating, "I don't doubt Crawford, because he's one of the greatest in the world. He could probably pull it off if he was big enough. I know that his will's strong." He acknowledges the fight's appeal, highlighting the financial incentives and the historic nature of a two-time undisputed champion facing the undisputed 168-pound champion. However, Berlanga cautions that the size difference remains a significant hurdle that could impact the fight's competitiveness.
My good friend, my brother, Terence Crawford, wants to fight Canelo.
Yeah.
Just from your expert opinion, knowing how Canelo fights, what he's like in the ring, I know you haven't been in the ring with Terence, but what do you think of that fight?
I truly believe, that, anything can happen in boxing, you know what I'm saying? And Terence Crawford is a legend. He's great. He's a great fighter. The only thing I see that I favor Canelo is that his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford can match anybody and probably do way better. You know what I'm saying? But Crawford is a legend, bro.
Yeah.
And like I said, you can't count him out. You know what I'm saying?
Ryan Garcia has confidently predicted that Canelo Alvarez would defeat Terence Crawford in this upcoming super fight, citing Alvarez's size and mastery of his boxing style as key advantages. Garcia emphasized that weight classes exist for a reason and believes that Crawford's performance against Israil Madrimov at 154 pounds did not demonstrate the strength needed to compete at 168 pounds against a seasoned champion like Alvarez. He stated, "Crawford can't beat Canelo. He didn't look that strong against Madrimov, and Madrimov isn't even big. The thing with Canelo is that he's mastered his style. He understands what's going on in the ring at all times. I just don't see him beating Canelo." Garcia's assessment reflects a broader sentiment in the boxing community that the physical and experiential disparities between Alvarez and Crawford could be decisive. While acknowledging Crawford's skill and dedication, Garcia maintains that Alvarez's combination of size, power, and ring intelligence would likely secure him the victory in such a matchup. Terence Crawford's pursuit of a bout with Canelo Alvarez has drawn criticism from some fans and analysts who question his motivations. Critics argue that Crawford's interest in the fight is driven more by the potential for a substantial payday and increased attention rather than a genuine competitive challenge. They point to Crawford's move up 2 weight classes to face Alvarez as a strategic decision aimed at maximizing financial gain and legacy enhancement. Some observers suggest that Crawford's previous pay-per-view performances have not demonstrated significant drawing power, and a fight with Alvarez could provide the exposure and revenue he seeks. Despite these criticisms, Crawford maintains that his desire to face Alvarez stems from a commitment to challenge himself against the best in the sport.
Just a few weeks ago, you heard what Terence Bud Crawford had to say on why he wants to take on Saul Canelo Alvarez.
I just want the opportunity, to fight the best fighter in my generation that's out there. He's the most accomplished fighter, and I would just like to, fight another great.
Which is a very noble reason. I mean, it's a reason that I can get behind. If you notice, his primary reason isn't money. He did say it'd be the biggest fight, which, you do want a big fight, but I don't think he meant monetarily, which the money comes, okay? But what he's saying is he want to test himself versus the best. And I think he's telling the truth here, right? Of course you want big money and stuff like that, but I think his swan song is just him test himself up against the very best. Those are the reasons the war room can get behind.
Terence Crawford has openly acknowledged that his pursuit of a fight with Canelo Alvarez is driven by both competitive ambition and financial considerations. He has emphasized that when the right business opportunity arises, the fight will materialize. Crawford views this bout as a chance to enhance his legacy and secure a significant payday, recognizing the commercial appeal of facing a high-profile opponent like Alvarez. While some critics question his motivations, Crawford maintains that challenging himself against the best in the sport is a natural progression in his career. He believes that this fight represents a convergence of sporting excellence and business acumen, aligning with his goals both inside and outside the ring.
Has the Canelo fight, realistically left your mind once he said he's not interested, or you still pursuing it?
Not at all. I think business talk. With the right business come across the table, it happens. I just be talking, man. Canelo a big dude, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I believe in my abilities. He's a heavy dude, but he's not a big guy. Like, he's 5'8", I'm 5'8", you know what I mean? My arm's longer than his, so that fight would be good.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.